And it is day 3 of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's state visit to the United States of America, which is currently underway. An official State Department lunch, discussion with leading American CEOs and a diaspora outreach are on the cards. Prime Minister Modi took part in a high-tech handshake event at the White House just a short while ago. The Indian Prime Minister held meetings with entrepreneurs, CEOs and representatives from various companies. U.S. President Joe Biden and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi met senior officials and CEOs of American and Indian companies as well. They discussed innovation and investment in a variety of technology sectors, including AI, semiconductors and space. Prime Minister Modi said that the coming together of technology and talent is definitely a guarantee for a bright future. Take a listen.
Understanding the importance of technology, the progress that America has made in the area of technology, and the youth in India, thanks to its talent, has created an identity for itself in the world. So this coming together of talent and technology, I believe this is definitely a guarantee for a bright future.
Our countries are taking innovation and cooperation to a new level in our relationship, and thanks in large part to the folks around this table. So my message today is really simple. We've got to keep it up, and we have to make sure we aim even higher. We're going to see more technological change. You've heard me say this a number of times in the next 10 years than we saw in the last 50 years.
Following the meetings, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris and Secretary of State Antony Blinken hosted a state lunch for Prime Minister Modi. The lunch includes officials from the State Department as well. Ahead of the lunch, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, Vice President Kamala Harris and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the guests as well. The Indian Prime Minister raised a toast to friendship, peace and the prosperity of people in both India and the U.S. Prime Minister Modi praised Blinken, saying that the U.S. Secretary of State had played a very important role in strengthening ties between both the nations.
Over the past several decades, the United States and India have been advancing the vision of greater interdependence, brought closer by administrations of different parties in both of our countries. Having worked for President Biden for over 20 years, I know that his belief in this partnership is long-standing, and his commitment to delivering on its promise is unwavering.
पिछले 3 दिनों में मैंने अनेक बैठकों में हिस्सा लिया, कई विषयों पर चर्चा की। इन सभी बैठकों में एक चीज कॉमन थी, सब एक मत थे कि भारत और अमेरिका के लोगों के बीच मित्रता एवं सहयोग और गहरा होना चाहिए।
After the state lunch, the Indian Prime Minister will engage with influential figures and leaders from civil society at the Kennedy Center. This will also include prominent corporate honchos and personalities. Prime Minister Modi's final engagement will be interacting with the members of the Indian diaspora and the Indo-US community, including community leaders. This is expected to take place at the Reagan Center in Washington, D.C. For more on this, our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal, has sent us this report from Washington, D.C. Take a look.
Last day of engagement for the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi here in Washington. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing the members of the diaspora. Earlier today, we saw at the White House the Indian Prime Minister taking part in technological handshake event, and emphasis was as to how technology forms an important pillar of India-US relationship. There were who's who of the business community present from the American side and from the Indian side, and the American president also emphasized on technology. But it's just not technology, there are other key pillars of the relationship, whether it's people-to-people relationship, whether it is the trade relationship, economy, investment, a whole gamut of relationship. And the emphasis remains as to how the relationship can be taken forward. And this visit, of course, was a visit that was a milestone visit in every sense possible. It has seen everything from yoga to hard diplomacy at the White House, but it also gave direction to the relationship at a time of great geopolitical contestation. Siddhant Sibal for WION at the White House.
That was Siddhant Sibal, who sent us this report from Washington, D.C. But for more on this, we're earlier joined by Colonel Rich Outzen from Washington, D.C. He's a non-resident senior fellow at the Atlantic Council in Turkey and a geopolitical analyst. Take a listen to what he had to say on this.
Well, it's good to be with you. And I think the motive on both sides is practical. There's a really unique, globally, in global terms, unique complementarity between these two economies. On the one hand, we have a highly developed, high technology economy in the United States that is short on high-tech workers, needs to import high-tech workers, and also has relatively high wages. But we see in the case of India, large manpower pool, and also a very large educated manpower pool, but not a lot of corporate giants with the high technology base that you find in the U.S. So the complementarity there is clear. I think that Prime Minister Modi's trip was motivated to help Indian industry and economy, but it's a win-win situation, clearly. The thing that strikes me about this is most interesting is that this is not a quick or a new decision. The U.S. has made a decision 20 years ago under President Bush that the days of sort of sanctioning India and trying to tell India what to do and not treating India more or less as an equal and a complementary partner was not yielding the necessary results. It's been a long time to get to this point, but it's good to see two national leaders really seizing that moment to broaden and widen that complementary opportunity.